Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, I'm going to do the final update, or we shall see, of the very popular video which is titled, My Daughter's OnlyFans Got Leaked and Her Life is Imploding. And it's a quick recap, even though I know a lot of you guys saw that. That's about the guy, he's in his late 50s, he's a father and grandfather, who wrote in looking for my advice and all you guys' advice about the situation his nitwit daughter got herself into. She's a raving effeminist and not to mention complete narcissist. She did an OnlyFans account and it got leaked. And she is a teacher, which is absurd, but she is, and has 3 little kids. And her whole life is imploding. Her job is on suspension. Her husband found out because she was having a secret OnlyFans account and cheating with another dude. He is divorcing her, and it's a ripple effect in the family. The kids are getting picked on at school because that's spread like wildfire. She's a high school teacher, and so it's gotten out spread like wildfire. And it's a big mess. And her father, and the grandfather wrote in looking for help, advice on how to handle this bizarre, crazy situation. And I go over his story, and essentially in the 2 stories, this girl's husband is divorcing her, and he's trying to stay strong for the family, what to do about her, the kids. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. And I don't want to go through the whole thing any more than I have right now because it'll take me forever. So in case you guys didn't see it, check out the other 2 videos. I'll link it in the description. But now he's going to follow up, guys, on what's been going on since the last video, which was last week. And let me tell you guys, it is a lot. And it's long, so just bear with me through this whole thing. And again, he is looking for help, advice, tips, suggestions, and he's very grateful to all you guys that chimed in. I mean, it was unbelievable the amount of comments that video, the first one, got a few weeks ago. Holy shit. And the second video got a ton of comments too. So you guys have been awesome helping this guy out. So he picks up, he says, hello SSM. He says, days now have their ups and downs in my household. They have mostly been down days, but the words that you and your audience have given me helps me maintain my resolve. I'll be honest, SSM, this mess that Amber has started is still hard on the kids. I can feel them suffering. No child should ever have to go through this. Sir, what your poor grandkids are going through, I really feel bad for them. I mean, their mother is just a complete and total asshole. And I have made that quite clear, and I'm not going to back down on my opinion on that. He says, I guess I thought that I could be strong enough for the whole family and lift them out of their depressive state, but it doesn't work like that. I can only be there for them and be the rock and pillar for when they are down. Yes, that's all you can do, and you're doing a great job, sir. I never really dealt with depression. I'm trying to read up more about it and understand my grandchildren. I never expected to be in this situation, but because of my daughter's actions and selfish desires, we've all need to adjust our lives. I know you and your audience question my parenting style and say that maybe I was too nice. Let me just admit that yes, I was too nice. I was too lenient, but she showed no signs of ever doing these kinds of acts when she lived under my roof. I don't know when she drastically changed and when she reached her adulthood. Well, sir, I would say probably one of 2 things was going on. Either A, this type of person was who she really was, but she was putting on the whole show for you because you're her dad, which girls can do. Or B, she wasn't so bad early on, went off to college, was impacted by all these far left-wing effeminist nutjob professors, and with those types of people, like-minded people, and that impacted her, and off we go. Or a combination of 2. But the past is the past. You can't change it. All you can do is what you do right now, and being firm and tough with her and laying down the law, not taking any shit, which you guys will see he definitely does. Goes on. I know I mentioned that she changed during her college days and developed extreme views at that time, but is that really the cause? I'm sure that's part of it. What happened to my daughter? Sally went to college too, but she didn't turn out like Amber. Was it her college course? Was it Amber's peers? I really want to know, and I don't want my grandchildren to turn out like their mother. I'm sorry, but writing to you has been therapeutic, and I just need to get a lot of these things out of my head. I don't want to show how badly theirs affects me to the family, but some days feel heavier than others. You're going through hell, man, and some days will be easier than others, and it ain't over yet, but it will get better in time. Just got to hold it together. I want to give a final update to Amber's life imploding, or should I say has imploded. She has been served. The children have a hard time hearing about this or being around her, and she's been retrenched from her workplace. Right now, Amber is a wreck. Our family and her family had a talk, and I think it finally hit her, thanks to Sally, on how bad the situation is. A lot has happened the last 2 weeks, so this might be a long one. I want to talk about a lot of things, so I'll divide it up into 2 sections. Sorry in advance for my English. Your English is just fine, bro. It says, Part 1, the grandchildren and Dean. Dean is the very soon-to-be ex-husband, guys, in case you forget. First, I want to give a little detail on the kids. They are 10, 8, and 7. 2 boys and a girl. Oh my God, they're younger than I thought. These poor kids. Amber had them really young. She had her first child while still in college. She had a shotgun wedding with her boyfriend just so their child would have his last name. Despite having a child during her 3rd year, she was able to graduate on time, and after she graduated, she was pregnant by another man, which led to her divorcing her ex-husband. Anyway, looking back at it now, I believe she had just used her ex-husband to help her graduate. I've always had my suspicion that may be the case, but always thought to myself that Amber was not capable of that, but now my views have changed. Then her second child was born right after the divorce, and the divorce was through, but the father left afterwards. Then her last child was with a foreigner. He left the country long before she gave birth, so we haven't ever met him. Is that what we're supposed to believe is empowerment nowadays? 3 different fathers and divorce at such a young age? Go feminism. The children are not even 16 yet, and they have already have to go through this whole ordeal. They don't even understand why their mother posted pictures of herself naked online. They are angry and hurt, and it's not healthy. What breaks my heart the most is that our youngest child always thought that Dean was her real dad. But Amber has painfully informed her that she is not related to Dean by blood. Ever since then, our youngest blames herself for their parents' breakup, but we've been reassuring her otherwise. I got a chance to talk to them, and they really don't understand what's happening, only that their mother has committed a shameful act and that Dean is no longer going to be part of their lives. It was hard, but I assured all of them, especially our youngest, that it's not their fault and that Dean truly loves them. Good, make it clear it's not their fault. But of course they don't understand what's going on, these poor little guys. I feel so bad for them. She's a piece of something, and you know what I think. Thankfully, Sally and Mike, her husband, as some of your audience was confused about who Mike was in the last video, helped us and our grandchildren help our grandchildren could transfer to the school that their cousins go to. Dean had one final talk with them before he dropped them off at our place. He bought them gifts and told them that he loved them like his own, but he just needed to go away for a while. He couldn't give a definite answer to when he would re-enter their lives, but he assured them that he would always be their father. In case you guys may have forgotten, he adopted them, and this dude Dean that his daughter married, they got engaged like after a month of dating, something insane like that. And he's a software guy. I think software engineer, makes a lot of money, which supposedly led to her reason for OnlyFans, which we'll cover in a moment. The kids seemed to understand, but were clearly upset, especially our youngest. Me and my wife had our last talk with Dean afterwards, and he promised to pay child support no matter what. He made us promise that his child support money goes to the kids, and if ever we were in a financial bind with the children, we could always contact him. Well, that's very nice that he's doing that. However, these aren't his kids. By legally adopting them, now he's on the hook for that, okay? And I'm sure your grandkids are awesome, and I'm glad he wants to help for the sake of the kids, but still, at the end of the day, he rushed to marry her. These aren't his kids. He adopted them. She does this to him, and now he's paying child support. You all can see the issue as a man I have with this situation, right? I mean, this guy just does not deserve to go through all this shit on multiple fronts here. Your daughter knew exactly the type of guy she was getting. This is what happens to nice guys and how they're taken advantage of. And then asked why he couldn't just stay in their lives and keep contact. Why did he need to leave? He told me that his family never really liked Amber or the children. Amber, again, never really got along with them because of her views and never brought the kids around them purely because of spite. Dean's family wants him to fully move on and has been firm about not wanting the children around due to Amber being tied to them and giving her leverage against him. You cannot blame his family in the least about this. And you can't blame Dean. He needs some serious time to figure his shit out. He really does. And I don't blame him one bit. And I don't blame his family for loathing your daughter. I mean, come on here. It's not the kid's fault, but unfortunately, they come with her. Dean wants to be with his family again as he's been through so much for the last 2 years. Amber has been berating him in private and constantly threatening taking away the children, and he just can't deal with it anymore. Since he adopted them, he has no problem paying child support and wants to be a part of their lives. But he can't bring himself to being around Amber anymore, and unfortunately, due to the circumstances with his family and Amber, he has to distance himself from the children in order to heal. I can't really go into detail about his reasons for leaving, as some parts are just too personal to share, but just know that Dean leaving the kids with us is probably for the best. Yes, it is for the best, and I don't blame Dean in the least at all, as I'm sure tens of thousands of dudes are going to watch this. And still, he's paying child support, and again, that's noble, and I'm glad your kids are going to be grandkids are taken care of. But at the end of the day, like I said, these aren't his kids, and she did this awful stuff to him, and he's still paying. So I'm sure you get my point here. Remember, guys, you guys that think you want to be a white knight or get with the single MOMs, right here, what could potentially happen. Now on to Amber. Now for the good stuff, guys. No offense, sir. 2 days after the kids were dropped off, Amber was served. She appeared at our house later in the day, and she was extremely anxious and angry, demanding to know where Dean was. My wife completely snubbed her and took her grandchildren out to Sally's. Amber was confused about all this, and well, like you told me previously, I need to lay down the law and give her my best speech. And goddamn right, sir. I'd actually been writing many essays and drafts about what to say, but I couldn't really see myself saying those things to her, so I just went in without one. I let her talk first. I wanted to hear her side about this and hoped to God that she had a good explanation for all this. And I was curious to see how this all started. Good explanation? Sure. Amber told me this all started when Dean got his promotion 2 years ago. He earned almost twice as much as her, and even though it was good that they had a bigger income, she had concerns about the income imbalance in their relationship. Sounds like a nut job FNS to me. Any woman should be happy that their husband's making a lot more money, got a big raise and all that, makes the life easier, the family. Not a raging FNist, because now there's an imbalance. Amber had just finished her master's degree in the, wait for it guys, Science of Gender and Development Studies recently. And he says, yes, that is a real master's degree. They offer it at the University of Sussex. You can search it up online. I'm sure somebody will. And it felt like it wasn't fair that Dean earned far more than her despite him having only a bachelor's degree. Fair. She's getting a master's in dog shit, and she's complaining about fair. He's a software engineer and no doubt works in the private sector, so of course he makes a lot more money than her as a high school teacher, even though she's the head of the department. Okay? I could wipe my ass on a piece of paper, and that piece of paper with my shit would be worth more than her degree, her master's degree in the Science of Gender Development Studies. So of course he's going to make more. Give me a goddamn break. And yes, I'm being a little crude, guys. I can't help myself. She confided this with her former thesis classmates, professors, and friends, and became more strict around Dean as per their advice. They told her to be more strict with Dean. He's being penalized because he's making more money than her. And by the sound of it, she became crueler due to her jealousy, but she denies this. Well, of course she denies this. She's not just a raging FNS, a raging narcissist. Until one night, while she was having her bi-weekly girls' night with one of her guy friends, that bumped into them by accident suggesting having an OnlyFans to balance their pay gap. She was skeptical at first, but her girlfriends encouraged her, and her guy friend said they would subscribe in a heartbeat. So she started renting out a condo as her studio and became a premium content creator. What I tell you guys about girls and their friends, right? Who they hang out with. All because she wasn't making up. But yeah, I'm sure that's one part of it. But the other part is attention and validation. She's in her early 30s. And guess what? Probably needs to have more reassurance that she's still wanted and desired. That's a huge part of that she no doubt is not mentioning. Her friends, and even the people she looked up, her professors, applauded her and praised her for her confidence to show the internet how bold she is. These people are fucking crazy. Her income had increased, but as far as Amber tells it, the increase wasn't too significant since she needed to buy a new camera and rent out a condo. Then she met a male model via a social app, and he started to work for her as a model. She adamantly insisted that any pictures or videos showing them doing anything risque or naughty was all staged. Again, she told me that any white substances in her content was only heavy lotion and not the real thing. It doesn't matter if it was staged. She was still doing those acts behind her husband's back, okay? Running a secret business, and doing all that while her husband, a good man, a foolish man, but a good man, thought that everything was okay. And she's cheating. I don't care how any way she twists this around. And this is her version of the story, I might add. She was then caught as some of her students recognized her and spread the images throughout private group chats. Then the rest is history. She has been retrenched from her job, but is confident that she will be rehired once her infamy dies out. I said this before and I'll say it again. Your daughter has no business being a teacher and no business being a mother. She's an unfit mother and unfit teacher. And if I was a parent at that school, I would be raising holy hell to make sure she never taught again. It's a fucking disgrace. No teacher should be doing this. No mother should be doing this. I was speechless the whole time when she was talking. She talked as if the lives of her children were not uprooted or that she had not only embarrassed us but Dean as well. I exploded at her and told her how selfish she was for thinking this wasn't a big deal. I asked her if she knew her children were getting bullied or that Dean has left them here because he will not be coming back. It turned into a shouting match between us, and she sprouted out that I was being misogynistic and she could easily convince Dean to stay if she had a chance to talk with him. Not this time, honey. In her mind, well, I've been browbeating him for years and wearing him down so I can get him to cave, but not this time. See? Narcissist. I didn't do anything wrong. Doesn't care at all how this has impacted the whole family, the kids, all that. She kept bringing up how we always favored Sally over her due to our backward-thinking politics. But I just told her to ask her children to ask them what they thought of her and how everything she did affected them. Oh, the old, you love my brother or sister more tactic to make the parents feel guilty. Don't fall for it. You're right, SSM. There was nothing I could say to get her to change her views. Nothing at all. So I had enough and started to lay down the law. I demand that she stop this ridiculous argument and apologize to her children for all this nonsense. She seemed shocked and surprised by all this, as I've never raised my voice at her before. Never? Maybe this is an issue. And watch what happens, guys, when this guy lays down the law. When this guy raises his voice, yells at her. Watch what happens. I told her to get in the car and that we were going to resolve the family issue right now, or I would take her to court for custody of the kids. Her demeanor and attitude changed, and for the first time in years, she obediently followed my instructions. How about that? The man lays down the law, raises his voice, says you're going to shut the fuck up and you're going to listen. This is how things are going to go. And watch what happens. Nature takes over. The feminist programming goes away in a puff of smoke temporarily, and she becomes a submissive woman taking the lead and following the lead of a man. This is what happens when you act like a man. Thing is, sir, she's got so much feminist programming in her, you're going to have to behave in this way nonstop for a very long time. So she got her ass in the car, and where are we here? She tried to calmly explain her views against whilst in the car, but I just angrily brought up the fact that she's been a selfish mother for ignoring her kids for weeks, and she stayed quiet for the rest of the ride. Imagine that. She shut the hell up. Good for you, bro. Now, you can't change the past, but imagine what would have happened if this had been more of a common thing. So we drove to Sally's, and I let Amber finally speak to her children after 3 weeks of not seeing them in person. It was an intervention of all sorts. We were all there to back up the kids about their concerns and worries, while also giving our concerns about the situation as well. Amber started to cry in the middle of me saying that me, my wife, and Sally and Mike are all ganging up on her and have turned the kids against her. Oh, you guys are the bad guys. And of course, the crocodile tears. And I want to point something out. The ages of your grandkids, I have a very hard time believing they're going to be able to tell their mother exactly what they think. They're going to be probably terrified of her, okay? Even with all you guys there. And of course, she's crying and making you're all ganging up on me. What an asshole. Me, narcissist, narcissist, narcissist. Then Sally said something that shook up the entire room and changed how Amber viewed the situation. Sally had found out that it was one of Amber's close friends who leaked her account. She doesn't know why her friend did it, but assumes it's because she wanted to expose her cheating or break them up. Sally showed Amber screenshots on her phone. I didn't get a look at them, but from the context clues of it, I guess Amber's friends were mocking her OnlyFans pictures or them backstabbing her. There you go. Her own friends turned her in. Her own friends exposed her. How many times have I said women don't have friends, they have competitors? And as Al Bundy said, don't try to understand women. Women understand women, and they hate each other. This just keeps getting better and better. Amber started to cry and shouted to tell us where Dean is, but we didn't know. She started to beg us because she didn't want to get a divorce. She loves Dean. He was the perfect man. Her friends had turned her against him. She loves him. And I am truly shocked how fast Amber dropped her whole argument after seeing some of the screenshots. The children were in the room when this happened, and they just watched their mother devolve into a crying mess. Oh my God, get these poor kids away from this wacko. Oh my God. Anyway, it says here, Mike and my wife took the children to another room, thank God, and Amber went to one of the bedrooms to recompose herself. I asked Sally about the screenshots, and she told me that her friends wanted to break up Amber and Dean for a while now. She doesn't know the reason why, and honestly she doesn't want to know either. She just got the information from some mutual friends and was disgusted at the whole situation. I asked Sally if she was friends with Amber's friends too, but she told me she doesn't even know their names, just their social media usernames. Sally had been trying to warn Amber and get her to see that her friends were ruining her marriage, but she refused to see in that way, and instead blamed Dean for everything wrong in her life. There you go. It's Dean's fault, even though this guy has been a saint to her, which he most certainly should not have been. So that brings us to today. Amber still lives in the house that Dean and her kids used to live in, but it is alone. The children don't want to go to their mother. I can feel that they resent her. My wife snubs Amber, and she has tried multiple times to get us to talk to her. Sally and Mike have limited her contact with Amber, and they do take the grandkids once in a while to play with their cousins and are planning a road trip with them to take their minds off things. Sally and Mike are awesome. Thank God for them. The whole OnlyFans scandal still has a lasting effect on us, as people still give us looks once in a while, but it's getting a bit better now. The grandkids are still in a bad place, and the youngest has not returned to school yet, and she may need to repeat a school year, but we are trying to avoid that. Oh my God. So repeat the whole year because of this whole thing? Good Lord. I do have Dean's number, but I'm not going to share it with Amber. Maybe one day when she contacts me, I could let him reunite with the kids, but since then, no word from him. The next time we will see him is probably the divorce court dates. Amber says that she will fight Dean tooth and nail and even bring them to financial hardship if that means keeping their marriage and family together. Oh, okay, yeah, make things even worse to try to keep them together. The best thing she could do in this situation, the honorable thing, is to let this guy go. But of course she's not. Amber still hasn't realized that her marriage is over and is trying to figure out where Dean had gone. She has told me that she made one mistake and doesn't deserve to have her family and life abruptly end because of it. One mistake? That's not one mistake. This is a series of thousands of mistakes all rolled into one. She does not want to accept the accountability of what her OnlyFans account has done to our lives, and instead is pointing the fingers at other people. First Dean and now her friends. Her life has imploded, and now she's trying to fix things while blaming other people. Well, that's what narcissists do. SSM, I want to thank you and your audience again for helping me out the past few weeks. This OnlyFans thing started almost 2 months ago, but everything started to get resolved only when I started writing to you. I still have a long way to go with the grandkids, but I'm willing to salvage what I can from this mess and return them to some sort of normalcy. I believe that this may be the final update. Thank you for sharing and have a blessed day. Well, something tells me this ain't going to be the final update. I think we're going to have many updates because there's no way we can end this here. I want to know more about what happens with the divorce and her and all that. But anyhow, I really appreciate you sending this in. And honestly, I wasn't going to do this video today. I had another video ready for tonight's show, but your email came in, and I quick left the house to come film this because I want to get this done as soon as possible because I know it's definitely helping you out. But I'd recommend at this point is to keep doing what you're doing. Staying strong for the family, taking it day by day, and that's all you can do. Be that rock for those kids and for everybody else. And in time, hopefully it will heal. But I stand by what I said, that your daughter is an unfit mother. She should not be raising those kids. And if those kids want to stay with you and not go back to her, they should stay with you. I know it's going to cost you money, and it's not what you obviously plan to do with your life at this point, but for them, you have to do it. Have them live there, because how the hell how's she going to raise them, okay? I mean, seriously. If she can't get her job back, and even then, she shouldn't be raising those kids, and it's going to be just so much turmoil you wouldn't believe. I mean, I think the best thing is they stay with you, and they go to a different school district and go from there. And she should not be around them, and I don't blame your wife at all for not having anything to do with her. And it would be one thing if she was truly apologetic for what she's done and sincere about that and everything, but not 1 ounce of remorse. It's all, I only made one mistake and blaming everybody else for what's happened. I mean, it's despicable. So, sir, like I said, hang in there, take it day by day, and you're going to be fine. But this is not going to resolve itself overnight. It's going to take a long time. But again, when it comes to the family and the kids, the grandkids, you got to be the rock. You got to be strong, just like I said in the other video. And nothing is going to shake you. In private, if you need to yell and scream and cry or whatever, fine, do that. But don't let them see that. And they're going to remember that because they need the strong grandpa. Okay, and like I said before, you need to tell them as it is. Okay, if they have questions and you think that they're too young to hear it or whatever, you can word it in a better way for 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds, but don't lie to them because they need to know with all this madness that they know Grandpa will tell them the truth. If there's one person they can truly count on, it's Grandpa, and that's the job it's got to be in. And do your best, and I think it'll be okay. But definitely let me know how things go, because this ain't over. Oh, no, this ain't over. I know how this is going to go. But anyhow, Sarah, stay strong. You're going to be all right. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let us think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Give him some encouragement, words of advice to help him survive this and be strong. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.